Welcome to Poplaw Podcast. I'm your host, Desiree, and I'm still not your attorney. Focused on education, empowerment, and entertainment, Poplaw is a podcast where pop culture, business, entertainment, and law intersect. Join me as I explore cultural hot topics from a legal perspective and discuss the impact of some of the most compelling cases with industry experts. He's played iconic roles like Ralph Tresvant in the New Edition story, Larry Reed in Detroit, Jake Winters in Judas and the Black Messiah, and Chris McKay in Euphoria. He's also a quadruple threat actor, singer, dancer, and producer. Joining me in the Poplaw seat today is none other than Algee Smith.
What could I ask for?
Welcome to Poplaw, Algee. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
All right. You've given us vocals, vulnerability, and vibe. But today I want to talk to you about the business of it all.
Okay.
How you got your start, evolved from a teen star to a grown man, and what it's like to embody real life legends on the screen. Now, before we get into the topic, becoming the blueprint, life rights, legacy, and creative ethos, let's get into some Poplaw confessionals.
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
Nah, I'm
All
not,
right.
but let's do it.
We want the audience to get to know you a little bit better, so let's see where your heart and your contracts really stand.
Let's do it.
Simple rules. I throw out a scenario. You tell me if it's a yes or a no or maybe with a contract.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Would you ever date a fan?
No.
Would you?
The contract is hilarious. Okay. No.
Yes,
no,
or maybe with a contract.
no,
All right.
No.
Would you ever write a song about someone you're currently dating and drop it without telling them?
Yes.
Would you ever send a voice note singing your apology instead of texting it?
I've for sure done that before, so yes.
Oh, wow. We must know more. Okay. I'm going to throw out a situation. You tell me if you choose love and write it out or law and lawyer up.
Oh snap! Okay. Let's go.
Your partner writes a tell-all book with a chapter about you, and it's juicy. Love or law?
My current partner, love, because my current partner would still make sure she's looking out for my best interest, so it would be love.
What if it's a former partner?
Law.
Okay.
Because what you saying about me now that we ain't together no more?
That's fair. All right, last round. We're getting a little bit more personal with this one.
Okay.
It's time for this or that late night album mode edition. All right?
Okay, late night.
No thinking too hard, just vibe with me.
All right.
Studio till 3 a.m. or movie night with Bay.
How are you going to do that? That's crazy.
No thinking too
Movie night
hard.
with Bay.
Okay. Silk sheets or soft trap beats.
Ooh, silk sheets.
Leave on red or spin the block just one more time.
Leave on red.
Hoodie in the house or shirtless in the booth.
Shirtless in the booth.
Cuffing season or touring season.
Touring season.
All right, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, for sure. I try to make sure I can have a good balance.
Okay. So let's get into the facts of the case.
Okay.
For folks who don't know, life rights are a legal agreement to portray someone else's personal story.
Right.
It's a handshake and a dotted line that says, yes, you can tell my story, but you better do it right.
Right.
While you typically don't have to buy life rights to tell a celebrity's story, it lowers the risk of lawsuits because celebrities can and do sue over false or exploitative portrayals.
Right.
Most of the time, the lawsuits are rooted in defamation and misappropriation. The claims are that the depiction of the person is false or it paints them in a bad light, or they have a problem with how their name, image, or likeness is depicted.
Yeah.
Over the years, there have been several lawsuits about life rights. The Michael Jackson story, the Real Wolf of Wall Street lawsuits, Linda Fairstein v. Netflix for When They See Us, and Olivia D. Halivit v. FX. In the Olivia v. FX case, Olivia sued over her portrayal in Feud, Bet, and Joan. She said the show used her image and put words in her mouth that she never said. Ultimately, the court ruled against her, stating that public figures have limited control over their portrayals.
What? I
Yes,
didn't know that part. That's crazy.
that was crazy. I mean, you're public figures, you put your life out there,
That's real.
so
Yeah, that's real.
people can do what they want to
Yeah,
an
to an extent.
extent,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
that's real.
But stay tuned for the breakdown where we will cover more about life rights. All right. So now that we talked a little bit about life rights, got into some of the cases, let's talk a little bit more about you.
Let's do it.
The New Edition story, Judas and the Black Messiah, Detroit, they were all very powerful. What drew you to those roles, and how did you approach playing real people?
Good question. So, New Edition, what drew me to that role, honestly, was just an audition. For real. Obviously, I knew about New Edition growing up, and then, funny enough, my dad actually played guitar for New Edition. He went on tour with
Oh,
them
wow.
before I ever even got the role, so that's a whole different thing. But yeah, an audition came through. I was living in Atlanta, and I saw what the story was about, and I'm like, okay, I gotta go out for this. And funny enough, I went out for I think Mike Bivens first, and then
Oh,
I did a
okay.
horrible audition. It was horrible. And Robbie Reed, great casting director, she was like, "Can you just stay and read for Ralph for me, just real quick, just so I can see something?"
Okay.
And then I read for Ralph, and then I had to come out to L.A. and do a whole audition process. So that's what led me to that role, just like great auditioning and that whole process. With Detroit, um, actually the same thing. So the casting director, Vicky Thomas, and the actual director, Catherine Bigelow, were holding auditions. Obviously, Detroit. I'm from Michigan, from
Okay.
Saginaw, so I'm like the connection there is just great. Anyway, went to the audition, bodied the audition, and then when I started to understand the real life guy and what it was about, that story is about Larry Reed and his time with the Dramatics,
Okay.
who were a band back in the day during the height of that, like the '60s riots
Yeah.
and all that. And so it was just about a terrible night that he and his compadres had, um, just going through the height of the riots, the racial riots, and dealing with that in Detroit, Michigan, of all places as well.
Yeah.
So the depth of that story and the connection to Michigan drew me to Detroit. As far as the hate you give, I felt like that was another chance for me to speak through my art about real life things that are going on within our community. And so, the character I played in that, Khalil, he's a young black man, died by the hands of police brutality
Yep.
for no reason at all. And so I'm like, okay, I know this story is going to go worldwide, and I want to be able to be a part in telling that story and connect myself to that for my community and for my people. So that was that. And then, we're going down the list.
We
and
are.
then Judas
Yeah.
and Black Messiah, I actually got reached out to for that. So Ryan Coogler, him and Proximity, they tapped in with me for that.
Okay.
And they just thought I was perfect for that role. I didn't even have to audition for that role. It was just a straight
We love
call.
no auditions.
We love that. We love them. We love auditioning too because it just
Yeah.
keep you in the gym and keep you sharp. But we love them calls though for sure. But just the story of Fred Hampton connected me to that. Chicago. My grandmother's from Chicago.
Black Panthers for
Black
everyone
Panthers,
who don't
exactly,
know. Yeah.
Exactly. And so just the weight of that as well, and just the importance of that story in the world, and what Fred Hampton and the Black Panthers all around the world represented.
Yeah.
It was important for me to be a part of that story as well.
And the Judas character that you played, Jake, Judas, by the way, is one of my favorite films. My family, they are former Black Panthers out of the Chicago chapter, so it definitely hit home. But with the Jake character, were there moments during the film that stuck with you, and are there pieces of that role and character that you took with you after the camera stopped rolling?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think I took every moment with me, to be honest, because that was I had to really do a lot of emotional giving for that role. Every role isn't like that.
Yeah.
But that role, you know, we were we went through it shooting that film. But yeah, I think I took every piece of it with me. Just the fact of him knowing that Just the fact of me knowing that this was an innocent guy at first, you know.
Yeah.
He was still about that. Don't get it twisted, because he was a Panther. But you know, I think his innocence just got completely stripped when the police killed his best friend.
Right.
And it just feels like, when something like that happens by something that you're already, by a system that you're already up against,
Yeah.
you know, it kind of just pushes you over the edge. And so the fact that he was, you know, for those of y'all who don't know about Jake Winters, you know, he went out, you know, gunfighting with the police,
Right.
you know, standing his ground. And so that part stuck with me too. Like, he knew what he was doing, and he
Yeah.
knew the sacrifice he made as well. So I think the whole thing, I think every role I play kind of sticks with me, even though I don't intend for that to happen. I just think that when you're in something for so long, and you're so ingested in it,
Yeah.
and you just, you know, you're taking on all those character traits and emotions, it has no, it's gonna stick with you somehow, you know.
Yeah, I understand. So, how did that role shift how you view storytelling and responsibility, especially when portraying real people whose stories are erased or misunderstood?
Um, Great question again. I don't think it
Okay.
shifted my view on it, because like I said previously, I had played similar roles, not the
Yeah.
same context, but similar roles dealing with that same issue, with
Hmm.
the hate you give, and with
Yeah.
Detroit. So I don't think that role kind of shifted my thoughts on the importance of that. I just think that it amplified the importance of it. It
Yeah.
amplified it for me.
Yeah.
Not so
Okay.
much shifted, but it just keeps amplifying it for me, the importance of it. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. At a time, I was like, I don't want to play no more of these, because it's
Yeah.
draining me. You
Yeah.
feel me? It's just like having to. I want to tell stories that edify Black people.
Right.
You know, not always stories that, you know, shows our pain.
Yeah.
That's important for sure, but you know, I want to be a part of also telling stories that highlight our triumphs and highlight us, who we are.
Yeah.
So it was a time where I was warring within myself, and it's just like, I don't want to do it no more. But you know, I feel like I'm walking in my calling, everything that I do from God. So
Yeah.
as long as I know I'm doing my purpose, I can get over the emotions.
Yes, it's definitely important work, and I
Hmm.
know it has that mental toll playing someone, but just as a viewer watching it, it's hard to keep watching this over and over. And even if you
Right.
scroll on social, luckily, social has been a little bit quiet about police killings, although we know those happen every day, but
Hmm.
it's definitely
Hmm.
important what you're doing.
Yeah.
Um, let's rewind a little bit.
Let's do it.
Tell me how you got your start in the industry. You mentioned you were from Michigan, Saginaw
Hmm.
to be exact, but tell me how this all happened, becoming Algee Smith, the entertainer.
Yeah. So let me see. Where can I start? So yeah. So I'm from Saginaw, Michigan. I moved to Atlanta when I was about 8 or 9.
Okay.
And from there, I started doing music. So my dad, who I told you about earlier, he was very inclined to music. So I was just always around it. And I grew up in church too, so I was always around music. And so music was my first outlet of expression.
All right.
And then from music, I found acting. My music manager at the time took me to an acting agent. Her name is Joy Purvis. Shout out to Joy, my first acting agent.
Okay.
And we went to her office, and she was like, I just want you to read this monologue for me. And I was like, what is a monologue? And she was like, just read this for me, and however you interpret it, just do it. So I read it for her, and she's like, all right, I want to sign you today. And I'm like, all
Oh,
right.
wow.
So at least I knew I had something.
Yep.
So she's like, just keep coming to my office every couple of weeks, and we're going to put you on tape. We're going to self-tape and send it off and
All
see if
right.
you can book something. And so I end up booking something in about 3 months of going to her office back and forth. And that was my start of just understanding what this whole thing was, and what a
Okay.
self-tape is, and what an audition is, and what a monologue is, and how you read through a script, how you analyze a script, and just like the in-depth process
Yeah.
of storytelling
Okay.
and the acting outlet.
Hmm.
And so my first thing that I did was this Nickelodeon TV show. And it was, shout out to Master P, because I respect Master P's business sense.
Okay.
He had a show on Nickelodeon for his daughter,
Oh.
Symphonique.
What was the name of it?
It was called How to Rock.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
How to
right.
Rock. Yeah, yeah. And so I played a character in that. It was just like the cool dude in school, and she was like the nerdy girl, and she just like, yeah, it was a fun start for me to understand what the industry was. But when I went on set, I didn't know anything.
Okay.
So nobody was really telling me anything either. So I'm just like, they just showed me my trailer and they was like, we'll come back and get you. And I'm just like, what do I do though?
Right, right.
So that was my start of just having to understand. You got to also just ask questions and figure stuff
Yeah.
out for yourself and just be attentive and observant and peep game without always having somebody tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a great start.
Yeah,
I
it was
mean,
good. It
come
was
on.
good. It was good.
Okay, so you wear a lot of hats: actor, singer, producer, dancer. How do you balance being a multi-hyphenate in an industry that wants to box you in?
Really good question. You know what's funny? I think the industry is actually opening up to the multi hyphenate. You know,
Okay.
I think it's more accepting now than it used to be.
All right.
I think people used to make it seem like you had to make a choice, like either you want to do this or either you want to do that. But
Yeah.
now, I feel like you can directly connect to your fan base
Mm-hmm.
instead of trying to connect to everybody.
All
And
right.
your fan base loves you for you, so they're gonna support you for what you do. If you're good,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, obviously, you know you got to be good with what you're doing as well. But I think the way I balance it is I just make sure that I'm giving each thing proper time.
Okay.
So I like to just timestamp my days and kind of just, one day I may have to give more to acting because like just the other day I had to do like 3 auditions. So I couldn't give as much to music as I wanted to.
Right.
But that next day I got to give a lot to music. I got to make it, I got to balance the scales somehow.
Okay.
So I just try to make sure I structure my life in a way that I am not only content, but I am satisfied at the end of my day with everything that I can look back at my day and say I spent my hours wisely doing everything that I need to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, with that imbalancing, let's talk about the transition from a teen star or child star to a grown artist
Mm-hmm.
and the challenges that came with growing up in the spotlight.
Um.
What's like the first thing that you're thinking about? I see your mind wandering
Yeah,
a little
the
bit.
first thing I'm thinking about is just I never really grew up as a teen star though. Like
Okay.
I think the first thing I did I was the Nickelodeon show that I did. I was maybe 16 or 17.
That's teen.
But check it out though.
But not
But
young
I didn't
teen.
really
Okay.
that didn't take me nowhere though.
Okay.
So after I did that, it was
Uh-huh.
just back to the crib
All right.
because
I
that's just
see.
a guest star on the show.
Okay.
And so I feel like when I really got my recognition and my respect as an actor was the New Edition project. And I
Right.
was, I think, 21, 22 when I did that.
Okay.
And so, yeah, so I didn't really have to go through like growing up as a teen star and dealing with this and that. I had a really grounded home that I come from, and my parents are, they really did a lot to make sure that I had a level head and make sure I just understood what
Yeah.
the world really is before anything could taint me.
Okay.
And so I'm grateful enough to be able to say that, I didn't have to grow up in the industry and go through all those trials and stuff like
That's
that.
good. It's not
Yeah.
too many people who share that same story. So,
Yeah, I know,
yeah.
because it gets rough, for sure.
So, as someone who's played multiple historical and musical figures, how do you personally balance honoring the real person while still making the role your own?
Ooh, great question. That's always the toughest thing to do.
Okay.
Because myself, sometimes I can be such a analytical perfectionist.
Okay.
But what is perfection, though, right?
Yeah.
But try to tell that to me when I'm studying, though. But I think what I like to do is, if I'm able to, if the person is still alive, I like to talk to them. And
Okay.
so before I do any type of character work or go into any
Mm-hmm.
heavy script reading,
All
I
right.
want to go to lunch, or I want to get on the phone, or I want to understand what they want to be said about them.
Okay.
With Larry, I was able to do that. I was able to go to his house in Detroit. I was able to sit down with him. I was able to talk to his daughters. I was able to go through photo albums and really
Alright.
understand who this man was
Yeah.
before I stepped foot on set and try to give my portrayal of him.
Right. Yeah.
Ralph, the same thing. I got to kick it with Ralph and talk to him, understand that he a mama's boy just like I'm a mama's boy. You know what I'm saying? We got certain similarities that I can easily
Yeah.
connect to that's bigger than what's on the page.
Yeah.
And so what I think, to answer your question, what I do is I make sure I respect them, understand what they want, but then also I have to leave a little bit over there and bring my full self halfway too, because that's why I'm here to portray that role.
Yeah. I think that's beautiful that you're actually doing the work and going the
Mm-hmm.
extra mile, not just reading what's on the pages, but getting to meet the
Yeah,
people so you can embody the role really well.
yeah.
And out of any of the biopics that you've done, did any of those stories really touch home to you and feel like it was actually you?
Ooh, you come with the questions.
You know, this is
Did I feel
Poplaw.
like
We
any of them was
prepared.
actually me? I feel like the one I was most centered in,
Yeah.
and the one that I found the most similarities, was probably the hate you give.
Okay.
And even though that was such a small, I don't say no role is small, but even though that was such a short moment in the film,
Yeah.
in my opinion, it carried throughout the whole film. The
Right.
weight of the weight of that moment, and just me going like just me being a young black man in the time that we're in
Yeah.
then, understanding the risk that I had when I walk out into the
Right.
world. I connected with that so much because we were around the same age, low
Yeah.
key. So that one was, I think, I was the most centered and connected with that one, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We got to talk about Chris McKay and Euphoria. Okay. So,
Man, let's talk about it.
for those people who don't know, you played a college athlete navigating identity, masculinity, and trauma
Mhm.
in a hyper pressurized environment.
Mhm.
That role may not have come with the legal complexities of life rights, but it carried an emotional truth.
Mhm.
What drew you
Mhm.
to McKay's story?
What drew me to McKay's story, I think the the one on one I got to have with the creator and the writer and director Sam Levinson.
Okay.
Um, Me and Sam went down. We went and sat down for lunch one day, and he was kind of telling me about the character, but more so than the character, me and Sam just connected on real life
All right.
and faith backgrounds and things that you bring into the character that you don't even know you bring because it's just you.
All right.
If that makes any
Yeah.
sense, like your identity is always going to be your identity, and that's going to shine through any time. And so I think we just connected on those things, and then I knew that, when he told me who was involved in the idea he had, the cast that he had the idea to go get, I'm like, I know I can kill this, and I know it's good company to be in as well, like to be working in. So, and then when I just saw the script, we talked, and then I saw the script, and
Right.
I'm like, oh yeah, this is crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that one, the conversation and the connection with the creator, and then the script drew me in the most with that.
Do you often get an opportunity to sit down with the creator of a film or television show before you start rolling?
In my personal experience, I have always had that opportunity.
All right.
It's not always like that, so I know that
Yeah.
that's a blessing for sure. But in my personal experience, I have, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was curious. I have friends who do not get that opportunity, so
yeah,
that's great.
yeah.
That's been your
Cause you're right.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah.
All right. So McKay's storyline explored toxic masculinity,
Mhm.
consent, ambition, and the pressures placed on black men in college sports.
Mhm.
Things we don't always see in mainstream shows. Did you feel any responsibility in portraying those themes authentically?
I felt a lot of responsibility for sure.
All right.
One, I felt a lot of responsibility because, you know, outside of Storms and Daya Coleman and Nika, I'm one of the only black representatives on the show
Right.
that's representing in that aspect of,
Yeah.
of being on the team of in sports and stuff. So I knew the responsibility of it. I knew the weight of it. I knew how important it was for me to get over myself too.
Hmm.
Because obviously the moment that happens where he goes through his little hazing moment in
Yeah.
the dorm room, I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Algee doesn't want to do that. And I think I had the moment where it was just like, all right, but this is gonna connect with somebody that it needs to connect to.
Yeah.
So I have a thing when I take on a role, I have morals and I have a certain moral compass that I follow, and there's certain roles that I will do. There's certain roles that I absolutely will not do because
Right.
it goes against my moral compass.
Right.
This one, it was like I just got to get over myself because I'm looking at how I would be looked at and and viewed by this, but this is somebody's real life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I can connect on that aspect, I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. I think it was an important story to tell,
Yeah,
and
1,000%.
a story that I wish continues to play out because of the importance of it.
I know.
From a
Yeah.
creative standpoint, how different is it tapping into a fictional character like McKay
Mm.
versus a real one like Ralph Tresvant or Larry Reed? And did you approach the work differently when the real person still exists?
So to answer your question, how different is it? It is very, in my mind, it's very different
Okay.
because, like you said, you're playing a real person. Did I approach the roles the same? Absolutely not,
Okay.
because again, you're playing a real person. So what I was saying earlier, just the due diligence and the
Right.
deeper dive that you have to do into the person and
Mm-hmm.
understanding who they are, that holds so much weight in your head because you don't want to get it wrong.
Right.
You
Yeah.
don't want their family to watch and be like, nah, that's not how we thought. That's not how we see him.
Yeah.
Thank God I've never had that happen to me. Everybody's family's been like, you did an amazing job. And I'm
Right.
like, oh
Yeah.
my God, thank you. But that's weighing on you because you're like, I
Yeah.
don't want to misrepresent this real living human being.
Absolutely.
However, now in my career, there's no difference in how I approach it
Okay.
because I've gotten to a point where I approach my work a little differently now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what I was talking to you about earlier, identity,
Yeah.
I had an acting coach tell me one time to just write out my whole life story, like everything, like
Okay.
where I was born, how many brothers and sisters I got, everything about me, what I like, what I don't like, ticks, all that type of stuff. I wrote it all out. I got this long, a couple pages of a notebook full
Okay.
of it. And the acting coach told me, when you bring on a role, you still have to bring yourself to the role.
Mm-hmm.
So look at the role, figure out so pretty much, okay, if there was a role and it was like, this guy is 35, but he's white. Obviously, that's
Yeah.
different, so we don't connect on there, but
Right.
the things that are not filled in, I fill them in with my own self.
Okay.
So when I'm on set, I don't have to try and pretend. It's just me embodying the story.
Right.
So now I approach it, I don't approach it differently. Obviously, I'll still do more due diligence if it's a actual living human being
Okay.
in the story I'm telling, but now I don't see any difference in the work of telling the story anymore.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I think it's reflective in the work that you've done that I've
Thank you.
seen at least. All right. So, from a lens of art meets life, were there moments where McKay's experience hit close to home for you?
Great question. Let me think on that. Yeah, it did. I think the moment of just him honestly feeling like, McKay he was in a predominantly white environment.
Yeah.
And so, having to go through that and, there's a thing, it's code switching thing.
Code switching.
you
Yeah.
know. And, it's sometimes you don't even do it you don't even do it on purpose. You just do it for survival. It's just how you,
Yeah.
you gotta
Natural
adapt,
instinct
you know
grew
what I'm
up
saying?
like
Exactly. So,
ingrained in you. Yeah.
and I kind of went through that. I grew up a little bit in Alabama too, so I
Okay.
got a lot of white friends that I love. I love all people, obviously, but
Right.
just connecting this to the story, that's what I connected to. Sometimes you can feel like the outsider because
Absolutely.
we connect on a lot of things, but we don't connect on a lot of things as well.
Yeah.
And so with that, I was able to really embody that with McKay, and like I said, living my truth in that as well.
Absolutely.
Him in this environment and having to deal with all this, everything that he's having to deal with, and on top of that, he really ain't got no black friends to talk to.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
that was a big one too.
I love that part of the story because it's being in that environment, being the only one, and even I experienced that going to law school
Mm-hmm.
after going to a HBCU with all black people, were,
Mm-hmm.
predominantly black, and then law school being the only one in class. It was a culture shock, completely traumatic for me. Like, I
Yeah.
did not enjoy law school at
Yeah. Yeah.
all. But I remember just growing up having the code switch when I first
Yeah.
started my legal career. Can't
Mm-hmm.
wear braids, can't wear hoop earrings. Now, I mean, obviously, I might not wear my grill to an interview or something, except for when it's
Yeah.
on my platform.
Yeah.
Um,
Right. Right.
but definitely just remembering those things that a place like Hampton University
Mm-hmm.
prepared you for. So when you go out into the real world, you can get those opportunities that unfortunately sometimes you couldn't be your whole self. But
Mm-hmm.
now I'm my whole self. You either gonna
Come on.
take
Yeah.
it
That's
or
how
leave
I
it,
feel
right?
too. Yeah. Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure. For sure.
All right. Well, since you're producing and writing too, how do you shift from script to song? And does acting ever influence your lyrics or delivery in the booth?
How do I shift from script to song? I It's very funny you asked that because it's like different things that I have to turn on for whatever I gotta
Okay.
be at that moment. So, I think when I'm in my algae artist singer mode,
Okay.
I'm just popping it a little more. I'm just like, I gotta just be a little more like when I'm in actor mode, it's more of a I'm open.
Yeah.
I'm open to be able to take on and then be able to give out. It's not
Yeah.
so much as uh, prideful in a sense as I have to be
Right.
as an artist. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So um, I think that's kind of the switch. And then do I ever take some of the acting into the music? I have to, yeah, because it's
Okay.
all character. So like for my new project coming out, I got an EP coming out called Love Lost, and on that project, the audio plays like a film. I
Yeah.
just went and added my skits the other day, and so that's a big part of my artistry as well, making sure I incorporate
Yeah.
my acting side or my film side within my music. So
Yeah.
when you listen to my music, you can see it as well. It's like I want to give that visual too.
All right, so I'm glad you made that transition over to
Come on,
music because that's where we was going
you
in the
always gotta be
conversation.
there.
You are following in the footsteps of people like Jamie Foxx and
Mm,
Donald Glover, Tyrese, who have done the shift or multi-hyphenate very, very
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Um, this EP, Love Lost, feels like is not just a side gig, but
Mm,
it's the moment. Why
mm.
was now the time to drop music? And I got to hear it, by the way, y'all. It's really, really good.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Why was now the time? Because why not? Why not
Yeah.
now? I feel like why not now? I feel like I haven't, you know, it's been like a little second since I dropped a full project. I've
Okay.
dropped some songs for sure, but a full body of work. It's been a little moment. So I want to be able to give my fans something special, a part of me. I want to be able to not only my fans but the world. Because I feel like when I put art out into the world, it's a sigh of relief too. Because I let out a
Okay.
part of me.
All right.
So it's important for me. I feel like right now is an important time to tell this specific story because this specific story is about a specific thing and a specific relationship, and so it was important for me to do
Well, since you mentioned that, I have some questions,
that.
because I got to hear it. So you're
uh,
giving us smooth vocals, deep
yeah.
lyrics, that signature soulful stare.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we have some questions that the streets and the DMs need answered.
Oh snap! The DMs need answers too. Let's go.
Yes,
Let's
okay.
go.
So, what's inspiring the lyrics on the EP? Are you pulling from personal experience or are you giving us stories through characters like you do on screen?
I am giving personal experience with a little bit of sprinkle on it. Let's just
Okay.
say that. Yeah, yeah,
All right. Don't be defaming nobody out
yeah.
here.
No, no, never that. Never that. I don't need no lawsuits.
Right.
No, no.
Um, the genre's in an interesting space right now, and
Mm-hmm.
R&B is having a renaissance. I'm just so happy that we get back to that 90s R&B.
Yeah,
Obviously is my
yeah.
favorite genre, but I
Mine
like
too.
80s and stuff too. Grew up with my mom playing that. Is there pressure for you to go pop or viral or water down your music?
For me, not at all.
Okay.
For me, I'm such a person that I want to feel. So about my art, I want to feel good about it first. If
Okay.
I don't feel good about it, then I don't want to. I don't care about it. I don't care who feel what about it, because I gotta feel good about it. And so I think the pressures of the world, obviously, in socials are like going viral, going viral. But for me, it's like even when you go viral, then what? You
Okay.
know, it's like what foundation are you building? And if you build a foundation, then virality happens. Then that's cool. You take it as it comes. But at least you got social proof behind you and other things to back it up. And so, nah, there's no for me. There's no desire to water down my
Oh,
music or come a different way, because I gotta feel good about it first.
all right, that's good. I love to hear that.
Yeah,
So let's manifest right now.
let's do it.
If I'm recalling correctly, there's
Hmm.
no features on the album. So,
No feats.
all right, on your next project,
Hmm.
are there any dream collaborators? Because they might see this.
Um, I don't even want to say. I don't want to
Beyonce.
say. Oh my
You know,
god.
Poplaw moonlights as the Beehive podcast.
This is so funny though. This is funny. This is funny. Yes, Beyonce, of course. Of
Of
course. Of
course,
course. Like,
right?
why not? Are you kidding me?
All right.
Yeah.
Well, since we are talking about R&B and we're in that territory,
Hmm.
I have to ask these questions because the listeners want to know.
Okay.
Are you single, dating, in love, or just out here breaking hearts and writing about it?
Phew, we. I think it's a mixture of all the things.
Okay. Um, well, let's go on the love aspect. If you are in love, because the album is titled Love Lost, I don't
Hmm.
know if that's good or bad.
in
Is
this
that
situation, it in this situation it was bad to be good though.
okay?
Yeah, because I feel like I had to lose that love to find a piece of myself
All right.
or relocate a different piece of myself.
Well, that sounds like a win to me.
Yeah, it was a win for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Um, what energy is showing up in your music? Love, or is it healing in the studio this season?
I think it's it's a lot of things. It's more than those. It's
Mm,
love. It's I'm healing. It's when you listen to the music, you hear the player wanting to be vulnerable and wanting to actually be in love.
okay.
So that's what's like driving the music right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You kind of skated around our initial question, so let me ask this a different way. If there is someone special in your life, are they supportive or are they side eyeing the fans flooding your comments? Is it date night vibes or we signing a NDA to go to Nobu?
So the special person in my life is not side eye comments, and we're not signing no NDA to get out nowhere.
All right, well, we love to hear that. Here at Poplaw, we like to protect the assets, the art, and sometimes that includes protecting your peace from someone
Hmm.
scrolling on their IG with too much time on their hands. But before we get out of here, I want to know like what's coming up next. And
Hmm.
that I know sometimes artists hate that question,
Yeah.
but tell us what people can look forward to, or is there anything you want to share with us?
Oh, never mind that question, because there's
Okay.
always something coming up next. But yeah, Love Lost is coming, so I'm looking forward to the EP and everything that's coming. The whole world that we're building around that EP is going to be real special. So I'm looking forward to putting that out into the world, going on the road with that, touring with that. It's coming up. I got a film coming out later this year called The Gates. Super happy about that. It's a crazy like psychological thriller, so I'm super happy about that.
Okay.
That should come out maybe the end of summer. Don't quote me though.
All right.
And then producing films as well right now. So getting my feet wet in that space as well, which is really exciting to me. And then just more music. I got another EP coming after this, and then we're gonna drop an album after that, and then we're just gonna keep coming with it, keep coming with it.
All right. Well, we got
Yeah,
some movies, some music,
yeah,
all
yeah.
that coming. If people want to get in contact with you, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Instagram at it's Algee, Facebook Algee Smith, TikTok Algee Smith. It's Algee Smith. YouTube Algee Smith. AlgeeSmith.com. You can find me anywhere. You search my name, and ain't nobody else got that name like I got it. So
Right.
it ain't gonna be hard to find. ALGEE.
For everyone listening, remember your life is a story and stories have value. Protect your voice, guard your legacy, and if someone wants to make a movie about you, call lawyer first. Algie, thank you so much for stopping
Thank
by
you.
Poplaw. I appreciate it. You are talent,
Thank you.
truth, tenacity, all of it. I can't wait for the world to hear Love Lost because I heard it. Sorry, guys. And I'm looking forward to all the films. That's
Thank
a
you.
wrap on today's
Thank
episode.
you for having me. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
for
Thank you.
coming. Follow us at Poplaw Podcast on all socials platforms, our website, and if you learned something or just vibe with us, drop us a review, comment, slide in our DMs. Until next time, protect your art, own your story, and keep it legal.